The greatest secrets aren't hidden where no one can see them, but rather where everyone can look, though few truly perceive them. The Bible is like that. It's like an ocean. On the surface, you find beauty and clear stories. But as you dive deeper, you uncover treasures that can transform your life. Today, you're about to explore 10 hidden secrets that could change everything you thought you knew about faith and purpose. And the last secret, it's so profound that you won't see your life or your faith the same way again. Let's begin with one of the most intriguing secrets, the number 7. From the very first chapters of Genesis, we see this number repeated. God created the world in 6 days and rested on the 7th. But this isn't just a chronological division, it's a message. The number 7 symbolizes perfection, completeness, a full cycle. Think about it. In today's world, we live in an endless routine of work and haste, as if rest were a luxury. But the secret of the 7 is that rest is sacred. It reminds us that by trusting in God and slowing down, we make room for Him to complete what's missing. What would your life look like if you trusted this principle more? Now, look at bread and wine. 2 simple elements, yet filled with immense meaning. Why did Jesus choose these particular symbols? Bread is basic, daily, essential for survival. Wine, on the other hand, is more than that. It's celebration, abundance, a reminder that life isn't just about surviving, but about living with joy. Jesus invites us to view our faith in the same way. Are we merely surviving spiritually, or are we celebrating the abundance of a relationship with God? And then we have the Ark of the Covenant, one of the greatest symbols of the Old Testament. Many know it as the place where the 10 Commandments were kept, but it's more than that. The Ark was a tangible reminder of God's presence. Imagine being in the middle of a desert, surrounded by uncertainty, but having the assurance that God was there, physically represented. Today, we don't carry golden arks, but do we recognize the small signs of divine presence in our lives? A sunset, a moment of peace in the chaos. These are our modern arks. Speaking of signs, the numbers in the Bible often go unnoticed. The number 12 is a fascinating example. It appears in the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 apostles, the 12 gates of the New Jerusalem. But the secret behind 12 is divine order. It symbolizes completeness, harmony, a structure designed by God. When your life feels chaotic, remember this. Even if you can't see it now, there is a plan. Like the numbers in the Bible, everything is connected to a greater order. Biblical prophecies are another point worth exploring. Many see them as grim predictions, but there's a secret here. Prophecies aren't just about the future, they're warnings about the present. Think of the words of the prophets as a mirror, showing where we're going astray and how we can realign with God's plan. Often, God uses the past to illuminate the present and prepare the future. Have you ever wondered if certain events in your life are prophecies pointing to something greater? Jesus was the master of parables, and for good reason. He knew that the deepest truths can't simply be told, they must be discovered. A parable works like a map. Only those who truly desire to find the treasure follow the signs. For instance, in the parable of the prodigal son, the secret isn't just in the son's return, but in the father's reaction. He doesn't just forgive, he celebrates. This shows us how God responds to our repentance, not with judgment, but with joy. The Sermon on the Mount is another text often underestimated. When Jesus says, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted," he isn't just talking about emotional comfort. He's revealing a profound principle. Suffering is transformative. In God's hands, even pain becomes a tool to shape something new. Think about the tallest mountains. They were formed by immense pressure over time. So it is with our lives. And the 10 Commandments, Sometimes we view them as rigid rules, but they're more than that. They're a roadmap to freedom. They show us how to live in peace with God and with others. Imagine a world where no one lied, stole, or coveted what wasn't theirs. These principles aren't outdated. They're more relevant than ever in a world that desperately needs ethics and love. Now, the Lamb. From the Old Testament to the New, it appears as the symbol of perfect sacrifice. Think of the Passover lamb, whose blood saved the Israelites. Now think of Jesus as the Lamb who takes away the sin of the world. This symbol reminds us that sometimes the greatest act of power is sacrifice. In a world that values strength and conquest, the secret of the Lamb is redemption through humility and love. And now we come to the last secret, and this one could change everything. Many people see the Old and New Testaments as two different books, almost opposites, but the secret is that they are two parts of the same plan. The Old Testament points to the coming of Jesus, and the New Testament is the fulfillment of those promises. This teaches us something powerful. God never abandons a plan. He is faithful to what He promised, even when it seems like nothing is happening. Are we willing to trust this same God in our lives? Finally, I want to share something that goes beyond these secrets. There's a fascinating relationship between faith and science. We often think of them as opposites, but they're like two sides of the same coin. Science shows us the complexity of creation. Faith reveals the Creator. When we look at the universe, the stars, the galaxies, human DNA, we realize there's no conflict between believing in God and understanding the world. In fact, every scientific discovery is an invitation to marvel even more at the divine majesty. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these secrets impacted your view of faith the most? Write it in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. And don't keep this message to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and let's continue exploring the mysteries that can transform lives. God has something special in store for you, and sometimes it starts with a simple act of curiosity.